Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Alright, hold on. We are getting blasted from the sun. Okay, so I'm making this because there's another video I just found. We are getting blasted by the sun and it's going to start hitting us. Now I'm making this at midnight, 12:07 a.m. March 11th, so you will get this March 11th. So there's somebody that I follow off and on. I haven't seen his videos for probably a month or more, but he is a geophysicist. His whole channel is about how mostly he focuses on how the sun is blasting the earth with radiation, energy, all that stuff. And I'm going to use a very vague term. It is all energy and it does affect us. The reason why I like this guy is because he's in alignment with everything that I've told you guys over the years in the sense of how the energy from the moon, the sun, the alignment of the planets, how it affects us emotionally. Now, the one thing that he does do that I don't do is he specializes in this field. So he knows all the words to perfection. This is what he does for a living. So with me, I just gather enough information to match it with what I'm feeling inside my body. So here's the difference between me and, say, a purely logical person. Now, I'm a very logical person. People are like, what do you mean you're not logical? You're like extremely... I can be extremely logical, but I'm also extremely vague and abstract. People that are very logical, they need external proof. Now, here's what I mean. I don't mean... Okay, here's the funny thing, because my whole thing is... It's very similar, if not the same thing. It's not the same because they go into a different direction. Let me explain that in a second. They're all about group think. It's the external left brain. What do you think? What do you think? What do the scientists say? What does this guy say? What does that guy say? Okay. The difference is this. I want to have an absolute physical experience of it. I don't want to read it in a book. I don't want to read it in a science class. I don't want to hear it, what the teacher writes up on the chalkboard. I want it for in the real life, like a real actual physical experience, whether it's visual, auditory, kinesthetic, meaning feeling, or, gustatory, olfactory. I want to feel it. I want to feel it with my own system. Some people are so logical that if they don't read it in a book, then to them it's not real. I want to feel it in real time. Now, the reason why I make videos like this is, now I believe most of you, if not all of you on this channel, you're very open to experiencing the energy. I believe a lot of you actually feel energy, at least to some extent, and you're aware of it enough to realize, like, hey, a lot of stuff we've been taught hasn't been true at all. Okay, I've turned down the music just a little bit. It's going to go down a little bit more in about, I would say, 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to give a video clip from this guy's video that came out tonight. It's probably the first 2 minutes or so. I want you to get an idea of what I mean. And then I'm going to do another video clip about something called neutrinos. It's a very, very small, I'm not even sure what they're called. Neutrinos are like particles, okay? And then I'm going to explain how energy works and why it is and how it is that I can heal people energetically. Like actually physically and emotionally heal them. I'm also going to give you some tips on how to deal with what's coming. And I mean the energy blast that we're about to receive, that we're essentially probably receiving in a couple hours. I mean a couple hours from right now, which is 12:14 a.m. March 11th. Okay, I want to give full credit. The name of his channel is Stefan Burns. He pronounces it Stefan, S-T-E-F-A-N. And the last name Burns, B-U-R-N-S. And the name of the video is Another Shockwave from the Sun is About to Hit Earth. March Madness has begun. One quick thought. Okay, the purpose of this video is this. People are going to be losing... I'm just going to cuss a little bit. I'm sorry, but I don't know a better way. People are going to be losing their shit. People are going to be overly sensitive. They're going to be angry. They're going to be frustrated. People's emotions are going to be raw. This energy is blasting into our energy field, into our world, into the planet, etc. It's already affecting people. People are edgy. If you can, kind of stay home extra long. Don't go out. Don't go to the store if you don't have to. This will pass in the next probably 4 or 5 days after the full moon, okay? Or, well, after the full moon, maybe a day or two after, or maybe right after. Now, the last video that I made, it's called Feeling Lost, Stressed, Insecure, Total Red Moon Lunar Eclipse 2025. Here's how to deal with it. I give you tips in that video. That video just came out tonight, which is March 10th, technically, at about 8 p.m., okay? So that one, towards the end, I give you tips, but I'm going to give you a couple more at the end of this video that'll help you out. Alright, here's Stefan.
Hey everyone, geophysicist Stefan Burns here, and we have yet another solar shockwave that is headed towards Earth right now at this moment in time. It has hit a probe that is maintained by NASA that's in fact right now hanging out near Venus, very close to the Earth-Sun line, and it registered a significant shockwave that will soon be hitting us. And the culprit is this high-speed stream emitted from this coronal hole. So we have this dark spot on the sun, quite large, close to the equator. The plasma temperature is lower. The magnetic field is open. What that means is you have all these ions flow out of this high-speed stream, mostly hydrogen ions, so just protons, but also alpha particles like helium and even some heavier ions, and they supercharge the solar wind. We just had a solar wind shockwave hit us. That was back on the 8th and the 9th, and that gave us a G2 geomagnetic storm. And we've been seeing tons of volatility and chaos in general here on Earth. Like, for example, right after that geomagnetic storm, we had a huge market tank. We already were seeing increasing volatility in the markets. I've been talking about that on some of my live streams, basically telling people to prepare for something like that before people thought that was going to happen. And well, here we are. The point of me mentioning this is that these sort of solar energies, they interact with the Earth, they enter into the system, and they charge the system. So not only can you see, for example, there to be like more earthquakes after loading of energy from coronal holes. We just had a magnitude 6.5 right under an active volcano in the Arctic Ocean, Van Mayen Island. But you can also see volcanic activity. I mean, we have like the Fuego, I think it's Fuego volcano in Guatemala just erupting like crazy last night. In general, there's just more energy in the system, and that gets everything supercharged. That includes us. That includes our collective consciousness and our interactions with each other. People are getting really feisty. A lot of people are snapping at each other. They're not harmonized and in balance, and they don't know how to control themselves. So we're seeing some people lash out, really angry, a lot of ego stuff, right? A lot of ego-driven things that are occurring. And we have two planetary retrogrades. We have Venus retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde on the 15th. We have on the 14th, right as this new solar wind shockwave will basically be finished up, sweeping by that time, we have a blood moon eclipse. 2 days before that, we have a Saturn cazimi. Then we have a whole bunch of other cazimis. And like I said, March Madness. So things are crazy. They're going to continue to probably get crazier. I mean, I don't know, but that's just what all these different factors are indicating. We hope that things work out for the best, and I believe they will. You have to have faith. God demands faith.
Isn't this guy awesome? At the very end, he talks about God and said, God demands you got to have faith. So this is exactly where I'm coming from. A lot of people that go, so you just believe. I don't believe anything. I want to know. Everything that I feel, experience, that I learn how to do, I go to science to go, okay, well, what is this? Like, what's causing this? Now, I'm here to understand, how does this energy affect us emotionally and personally, and how does it affect our actions and our behavior? That's what I'm all about. I'm not going to go back to college and get my doctorate degree to become a geophysicist like this guy, but I will listen to him enough, and I've gone to college. I've studied physics, I've studied science, I've studied all of that stuff for literally since probably 7th, 8th grade on through college. Now, I didn't get my master's or doctorate degree in it, but I know enough to be able to listen to someone, to pay attention, and to read books and go, okay, I understand this. Now, here's the thing. Can he heal people like me? No. Can he do energy healing like me? No. This is my field. This is what I specialize in. But I also look into these other fields that affect my field to understand why. Okay, one of the biggest things that really drove me nuts is like, yeah, I went to all the trainings. I went to the certification courses, and they told me, like, you're gifted, you already know how to do this, etc., etc. And I wanted to understand why. I wanted to understand, like, what is it? What am I doing? And the best way to explain it right now is it's like everything is energy. And I'm going to tell you something. When you begin to really understand this, not only does it simplify everything, but it frees you from everything. Because it makes sense of everything. We are not all the same. Period. End of sentence. We're just not. Men and women are different. The left brain's different from the right brain. Some people are more left brain. Some people have very narrow bandwidth in the left brain. Some people have a broader bandwidth that goes far left to far right. I'm one of those people. Some people are more tuned in. I'm one of those people. Some people are not. Some people are just really, really good with numbers, math, business, and science, better than I am, and I have no problem with that. I think that's awesome. We do not live in an either-or world. That was a complete lie. That was a complete illusion. We live in a world where there's a lot of differences, and we can benefit from each other's differences. People that are still stuck in the left brain and the either-or mentality, either I'm right or you're right, either right or wrong, you're missing it. I get it. You've closed yourself up in the left logical brain's box. You've closed the door. You're locked in there, and you don't want to come out. You just want to have, what do they call, like talking heads or peer agreement? Do we believe the same thing? Do you think what I think? Do you think, oh, okay, we're right and they're wrong? Like, no, you are right on some things, and so are we. And if we put it together, that's when we're going to find the answers. Because now we can connect the pieces and put the bigger picture together. Now, for the people who are saying, oh, I don't believe that, I don't believe that. Well, that's fine. This channel is not for you. Go to college, get your physics degree, get your geophysicist doctorate degree, and then you'll realize, like, wow, Mike was saying that. Yeah, I was, and I have been, and I will. Now I'm going to throw the short video, about 1.3 minutes, to give you an idea of energy, to give you an idea of scientific. This is the pure scientific thing I'm about to show you. It has nothing to do with energy healing or spirit or nothing.
Neutrinos are fundamental pieces of our universe. They're everywhere, but they interact with almost nothing. They have virtually no mass and no electric charge. If an electron were the size of an apple, a neutrino would be smaller than a grain of sand. Yet they're absolutely essential to how our universe works. About 100 trillion neutrinos are passing through your body every second. That's more than all the grains of sand on Earth. And you never feel a thing because they almost never interact with the atoms that make up your body. In fact, a typical neutrino could pass through a light year of solid lead without hitting anything. Scientists have identified 3 flavors of neutrinos: electron, muon, and tau neutrinos. They're named after the particles they're associated with. What makes them even stranger is that they can actually transform from one type to another as they travel through space. Since these particles hardly ever interact with matter, catching one is incredibly difficult. That's why scientists build these massive detectors deep underground or underwater. They're trying to shield the detectors from all other particles so that when the rare neutrino interaction does happen, they can spot it. It's like trying to hear a whisper in a hurricane.
Now, this is just another form of actual energy, okay? It is so finite, it is so small, it goes right through you, it goes right through your cells, right through your atoms and electrons, and it doesn't even slow down. It's just so tiny, it goes right through you. I know I'm going fast. I'm trying to put these pieces together, okay? These are all separate pieces that we're connecting here. So back in about the early 90s, I was hearing about, I actually heard it from my pastor first, and I didn't really believe him until I saw the study myself. So scientists have known about atoms, electrons, and all that kind of stuff. But then they got to the quantum level, the quantum particles. Now, whenever they find a new level, now quantum particles is much smaller than atoms or electrons, etc. So now they're like, okay, what is this? So every time they find something new, they have to test it. So they'd put so many scientists, whether it was 10 or 100, and what they would do is they'd ping one particle at another particle at a certain degree, certain angle, certain speed, certain whatever, okay? And they would record all this over and over and over. They would do this for hours, days, weeks, maybe even months, and they would get extremely bored. Hint, hint. And then one day, one of the scientists looked at it and said, God, wouldn't it be cool if I shot at the same speed, same distance, same angle, same everything, and it hit it, but instead of going off at a 30-degree left angle, which it's done every single time, from this, this time, distance, etc., it actually took a right turn and curved off to the right. He pinged it the exact way he's been doing it, same speed, same distance, same angle, same everything, and it curved off to the right when it hit it. And he was like, wait, what's going on here? So he thought, the machine must not be calibrated. He literally recalibrated the machine, and he did it again. Okay, ping, ping, ping. And it went off in the same direction that it did every single time that he's done it for 1,000 times in a row. And then he wondered again, God, what would it be like if I pinged it exactly the same way and it went off to the right again? And he did it, and it went off to the right, and he's like, hey, what's going on here? So he recalibrated the machine again. He checked, it's like, no, it's the way it's supposed to be. And he did it again, and he thought, what if it does it again? And it did it again. And that's when all of a sudden he made contact with other scientists, and they started doing the same thing. They're like, wait a minute, why is it that our thoughts are causing this to go in different directions? In Think and Grow Rich, it literally says thoughts are things. Your thoughts create. Your beliefs create. Here's the really interesting thing about beliefs. They're not real. None of them. Science has proved this over and over. They say, 1936, this is a universal law. We have tested it so many times. This is a universal, unchangeable law, and this is concrete, and that's it. 30 years go by, and they're like, wait a minute, we discovered something new. In fact, that law's the complete opposite. It's wrong. And now they go, now we got the correct new universal law. They've been doing this for hundreds of years. Beliefs are not real, but beliefs create a pattern to energy. It sends energy, the neutrinos, the particles, the atoms, the electrons, in a direction. If ye believe, you shall receive whatever you ask for in prayer. Amen and amen. Quote by Jesus Christ. The woman reaches out and touches a tassel of Jesus' clothing, and she is instantly healed. And Jesus turns and asks her, why did you do that? And she said, I just knew that if I could just touch a part of your clothing, that I would be healed. And I am. And Jesus says, listen closely, by your faith ye are healed. He never said, I healed you. He said, you healed you because you believed, because this is what you thought. Here's the thing about beliefs. I'm going to say it again. Beliefs are not real, but they are powerful. Beliefs affect the energy, and that's what creates. Now, here's the really fun, cool part. You can change any belief and every belief that you have. The question is, do your beliefs support you? Oh, I don't believe that. Does that support you? Get it? Understand? See it? You hear what I'm saying? You can change your belief to be anything you want that will support you. That's why I tell you, choose your beliefs wisely. Change your beliefs. There's an actual NLP technique where we can neurologically change it. If you want, you can call me. If you want, you can try it on your own and change your own. Take on another belief that someone else has that supports them to be happy, to be successful, to be rich, to be loving, to be kind, to be whatever. Number 2, change your thoughts. Write down on a 3x5 card some mantras. One of my mantras is wealth, success, wealth, success. Another one I got from Tony Robbins. Every day in every way, I make more and more money. Another one is, and I'll say that over and over and over. Another one is God's wealth is circulating through my life. His wealth flows to me in avalanches of abundance. All my needs, desires, and goals are met instantaneously, for I am one with God. Another one is, and in both plus and more, yes, yes, yes. And in both plus and more, yes, yes, yes. And in both plus and more, yes, yes, yes. What that does is opens you up from your left brain to your right brain, because it's the addition language, which is the right brain, which causes you to open up and process and function in the positive right brain. Pray to God. Say, make me happy. Make me wealthy. Say things that you desire. Say things that you want. Write things down that you want to say in conversations that are more empowering, that are funner, that are happier, that people will enjoy being around. So now it's March 11th, Tuesday early morning, 12:30 a.m. What you speak, what you say, what you think, what you visualize, what you meditate on, what you manifest will come faster over the next 4 to 5 days. Just past this lunar eclipse and this full moon that we're having, I believe it's on the 14th. In fact, I want to give you something because you need to see it on the 13th. If you're on the West Coast, it'll be approximately 11:26 p.m. to, I think it's 12:32. Let me pull that up. Hold on. Okay, so Eastern time zone, totality, the lunar eclipse begins at 2:26 a.m. This is on the 14th and ends on 3:32 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 14th. Now, if you go down to Pacific Time, California, it's actually the night. It's the same night, but it's a couple hours earlier. So for us, it's going to be on the 13th. It starts at 11:26 p.m. So if you want to see the eclipse, it starts at 11:26 p.m. on the 13th of March, okay? And then it ends at 12:32 a.m. about an hour later after midnight, which is the 14th of March. So if you want to see the eclipse, it's really on the 13th, going into past midnight into the 14th, okay? So even if you're on the East Coast, essentially it's the 13th. Don't think you're going to wake up March 14th and later that night you're going to see it, because you're not. It already happened, but just before you woke up. One thing I want to say before I move on is I want you to know that this is, okay, what I'm seeing when I'm working with people is I understand there's atoms, electrons, and particles. I understand that my thought, my visualizations, and there's some actual techniques that I use, not some, there's a lot, that I use to move your energy through. This is physically what, and I guess I would use the word energetically, what I'm doing. We are all energy fields. There was some guy, oh God, let me see if I can find it, hold on. So someone posted something stating, the title was something like, we are all energy fields, and then this guy goes, no, we're not, we have electricity. And I'm thinking, oh my God, like literally, dude, read a book. That's what an energy field is. It's electricity. So the first time I heard that about the quantum particles, how they would have a thought and imagine, visualize it going a certain direction, and it did, and it blew their mind. You know, in the article, it actually said that they were having nervous breakdowns, etc., the doctors, because they're such left brain that, like, they didn't believe that our thoughts could shift anything on an energy level. And it was Pastor Rex that taught this in church, and after church I went talking about it. He goes, Michael, science doesn't prove God wrong or God not to be true. Science is slowly catching up and is proving that the spirit world, that God, that all the stuff that we teach and we've been hearing about is true. We are at a point now where science is really the more you dig into it, you're like, yeah, this is exactly what we've been talking about for thousands of years. Science is behind, but it is starting to catch up. I'll tell you what I don't believe. I don't believe in either or. It's either science or it's spirit. It's either religion or it's spiritual. I believe in both. I believe in and. I believe it's science, religion, and spirit. This is what Jesus meant when he said truth and spirit. Are you guys starting to see, are you starting to realize how much science has lied to us about our nutrition, about food, about our health? And I don't mean just in the last 5 years, 6 years, it's gotten really bad. You know, I was buying these organic bananas and then I looked closer at the thing and it said biochemistry lab grown. I was like, oh my God, it might be organic, but this isn't real. There was something I was talking to someone yesterday, I cannot remember the subject, but I was like, hey, isn't that what they taught us for decades and centuries? He's like, yeah. I go, now we know it's not true. The light's here. It is here right now. And this shift, I believe, for the lunar moon that's coming up, this lunar eclipse, this full moon, etc., I believe we are going to see more truth. This is going to be a bigger opening and more light's going to shine in. And people are going to see more and more truth. Truth is what's been hidden. Do you know why? Because they work by lies. That's how they get away with things, because they don't want to work hard. They don't want to be truthful. That is getting wiped out right now. The people that are honest people, that are good people, those are the ones that are going to start moving forward. In fact, some of us have already began moving forward. I mean, financially, professionally, socially, in all kinds of areas. For those of you who believe that in order for you to be right, you have to make up a lie to make someone else look wrong, that era is over. People can see it. Okay, now to wrap up this video. So the number one thing I'm going to tell you with all this energy hitting us, it's going to cause a lot of people to be paranoid, they're going to be nervous, they're going to be stressed, all kinds of things. And they're going to lash out is what they're going to do, especially the people that lie on a consistent basis. They are just going to flip out because they can see it and they can see that you can see it. They're going to be yelling. They're going to be flipping out. Here's what I'm going to recommend. Number one, stay home if you can. Avoid people if you can. Just for the next 4 or 5 days. I know you have to go to work, but just keep it as calm as you can. Number two, if someone begins to erupt, turn and walk away. Just get out of the situation. Do not try to explain. Do not try to argue. Do not try to understand. Just walk away, because the level of energy is going to be so intense. There's not going to be any reasoning going on at all. It's just going to be emotional energy. And I mean, because the emotions are being driven by this energy. It's just going to be emotional energy flying all over the place. One of the tips I gave in my last video I uploaded, breathe. Do your deep breathing techniques. Hold your breath, breathe deep, hold it for a while, blow it out. Do that 10-15 times. Relax, stretch, get a massage. You've got to relax. Go with the flow. Keep your breathing going, okay? Eat water-rich foods such as oranges, apples, watermelon, okay? We need to get the electrolytes going. Get some bananas. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need potassium, magnesium, and you're going to need sodium. So that's bananas, salt, green leafy vegetables. Now I'm going to recommend something right now. Get your minerals in. This is a product that I highly recommend. The company is called Thorn. So go to thorn.com and buy this product, Catalyte. It has your magnesium. It has everything. Maybe not everything, but it's got a lot of the minerals. Take a quarter or a third scoop every morning. Okay, so I might do that once or twice a day. If I work out a lot, I'll definitely do it twice. I don't do a whole scoop because I don't feel like I work out enough to do that. But I would highly recommend get some kind of mineral supplement in you. One of the things I've been doing with this, I've been adding either a half a lemon or a quarter of a lemon, depending on how big it is, and then a half a lime, and I've been squeezing that in the water that goes with this product. It tastes delicious. You're getting your electrolytes, you're getting your vitamin C, you're getting your minerals, you're getting pretty much everything that you're going to need to get through this. And make sure you're hydrated. Get extra water. You don't have to overdo it, but just make sure you're getting plenty of water throughout the day for the next 4, 5, 6 days. So till probably about the 15th, maybe the 16th or so. Again, deep breathing, do it multiple times a day. Holding your breath for 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds and doing 10, 12, 15 reps, I promise you, that will really help you relax. You can stretch, even if you just stretch lightly. The other thing I would recommend is when you work out, I would do it kind of like light to medium, build up slowly into it, okay? Another thing I highly recommend, get extra sleep. And I would bet if you have a real push schedule, you're working out like intensely extreme, I would say right now, take a day off, back off, get a massage instead, do some stretching for half an hour longer instead. Rest is probably really important right now. That's pretty much it. Get some healthy organic fruit in you. I wouldn't do a lot. I would say do oranges and then maybe one banana, something like that. Maybe one orange or two. Let it digest for 15-20 minutes and then eat a banana after that. Let that digest for 45 minutes. You don't have to eat every single fruit in the world, but if you do eat some fruit, eat only that one fruit. Do not mix it with other fruit. And the other thing is eat some organic vegetables. Just make sure you get some celery, maybe some carrots, and If you want, get a good salad in, okay? You don't have to overdo it. Just make sure you get at least one sitting, one meal where you're getting some kind of vegetables in you. This will make a difference. And just do organic. Even if you normally don't, just do organic. Grab a couple pieces of this, maybe celery, carrots, organic, then maybe oranges and bananas, organic. Okay, that's essentially what I do. Celery is really, really good for you. It has selenium in it. Humans use that. If you burn out, you kind of fatigue mentally. Just selenium is a really good mineral that you need in your body. So you should, I eat 2 stalks of celery every day. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I went as fast as I could to get through it. Take it easy and breathe through the next 4, 5, 6 days. God bless you guys. If you like this video, please click subscribe, click the like button. Go ahead and make a comment, and if you want, you can go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.